Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Danae, and I'm here with a story time message for you titled Diddy Made 'Em Do It, and They Did It to Me. The Diddy saga is indeed stranger than fiction, and apparently there's yet more to unfold. It's easily dismissive as just the lifestyles of the too rich and too famous in Hollywood. But you would be surprised at just how close to home this case could hit. I literally mean you would be surprised. Perhaps some of you, some of us, so-called regular people, are more connected to the chaos than what makes sense to imagine. The sensationalized aspects of the case have been circulating around celebrity involvement, implications, and entanglements. Everyone wants to know who and what is on the infamous tapes that were allegedly confiscated in the raid. And of course, there's the comical mysterium around the 999 bottles of baby oil on the wall. 999 bottles of baby oil. You take one down and pass it around. Well, you still just have an insanely excessive supply of baby oil and lube, allegedly. But I digress. Back to what this could have to do with you or me and a whole lot of others that never had the privilege of a golden ticket, i.e. an invitation to one of Diddy's parties. The underbelly of this polarizing moment in pop culture could be more fantastical than any mainstream media outlet or even contemporary social media source knows to report. Yet it's been news throughout the spiritual community, which has been intuitively getting the scoop and transmitting the messages in bits and pieces well before there was an actual face to place within the narrative. More than mere freak-offs, this case is about energy harvesting and the secret rituals and practices of witches and warlocks in high and low places. I've personally tapped into these ideals in several messages. Side note, some of which I will pin or post respectively. On this platform and on others before I was fully conscious of what I was talking about. The big picture is becoming more and more crystal clear to connect what has been channeled with what is publicly being revealed. All allegedly, of course. But to get to the shit, yes, the shit, like Tales from the Hood. Celebrities were not the only targets or even the primary targets of Diddy's reindeer games. And obviously Diddy is not the only game master. He's just one of too many. But for the sake of a specific reference, we'll give him the spotlight center of this story, just how he likes it. While some celebrities may have actually been more complicit in the dark occult practices that were fueling the fun, that seems too trivial to attest since the trial itself will likely expose all that was done in the dark, who done it, and why. It's the darkness of the dark that I feel guided to shed a light on, because that is where the bodies are buried. And they are the bodies that may not get all the media hype because they are the bodies, some alive and some unalive, of John Does and Janes that don't have a celebrity name. Who's to say what they could have been or what they have yet to become on account of and despite energetic interference and intrusion? But what they won't be, if I can help it, is disregarded or dismissed as irrelevant. When quiet as it's kept, these are the star witnesses. Emphasis on star. Now, one of the messages I posted that I believe bears a spiritual resonance to this case was my last story time, which, similar to this one, was a compilation of channeled notes. The centric focus of that message was on what I referred to as spiritual charlatans, perhaps a couple or even a collective of individuals that have been promoting themselves as occultic masters and or even religious or spiritual counselors to high-profile, i.e. celebrity clients. Check out that message, one of the first pinned below, for the details. But they ultimately shapeshifted into whatever guise of identity would be most palatable to the client at hand as they sought to fulfill the order on demand. Fortune, fame, success, luck, love, privilege, power, promotion are just a few options on the menu. The charlatans promised to deliver at an exuberant base rate and subsequently indulged in the perks and benefits that came along with having intimate access to celebrity culture. So much so that the charlatans themselves became celebrities, if nothing else in the underworld of the culture. They gained more clients through referrals of their work, of which at one time came highly recommended due to a high success rate. But the mysticism of their so-called manifestation powers was hidden behind a facade of smoke and mirrors. Their customer satisfaction was, in fact, reliant on the casualties of their cause to get rich or die trying. So human resources actually became the means and the medium to do just that. Human trafficking is a glaring term in the Diddy indictment. Human sacrificing is what it all boils down to. And not exclusive to the celebrity hot list or noted affiliations. I submit to you today that some of your favorite social influencers, especially in the spiritual capacity, some of which you may be subscribed to, perhaps even you could be an unsung character in the surviving Diddy saga and those of the like. Influencers, popular and even less known, were on the hit list for energy harvesting and siphoning of the most sinister sort. I use influencers loosely, although public personalities, even of the independent nature, were targeted. The qualifications of an influencer were or are not limited to social popularity. It's weighted more on the resonance of star power and light that a person carries that makes he or she a hot commodity. This means that anyone and everyone with identifiably premium qualities could be on the market without even knowing that they were up for sale. Now, the details of how that gets to be, I may save for another story time. But the biggest takeaway from this message is that no one has been exempt from being bought and sold on the black market of the underworld without their consent. The reality of that injustice is primarily a matter of spiritual unlawfulness, which is the cause for judgment in physical court. This has been a Supreme Court matter of the Most High ordinance that is just trickling down to be tried in the 3D. But to bridge the gap of understanding between the celeb and common connection, which I'm aware may still be gaping open, the charlatans that I speak of acted as headhunters to scout premium products, aka people, to hustle to clients directly for ritualistic purposes like death sacrifice, destiny swapping, energy siphoning, and or karmic transference. The charlatans have also sourced said products in their own ritualistic practices to forge and fabricate results per their clients' requests. Everyday, unsuspecting people have been the force fuel for a fabricated reality that was then force-fed down our subconscious and conscious throats. We've been the food for the machine and also the consumer of its waste. And although it appears to be a truth too distant from the average reality, I'm telling you, as a living witness, that is diabolically biographical. What is playing out in front of you as someone else's story may actually be your own. As I stated, I am a living witness of this. And as you might observe, I don't have thousands of subscribers or views on this platform. Side note, I have had more traction on other platforms that I ultimately felt guided to delete. But what I do have is an extremely bright light with brilliant spiritual and natural intelligence and an endless wealth of gifts and talents. I am amazing, in a word, if I do say so myself. And what I also have or had are close friends, now ex-friends, of course. One in particular that is fully aware of my magnificence. In fact, at one point, they were more aware than I was. On account of my lack of self-awareness, it became light work of the dark sort to manipulate and monopolize my light like their own little private reservoir of energy, even and up until they learned that they could broker that resource for profit. This friend that I speak of is deeply immersed in celebrity culture and at one point was on the way to celebrity status, although I'm not sure if that was ever realized because I intentionally lost track of the connection. What I am pretty damn sure of is the fact that they're one of the charlatans of which I speak, and I was one of the products that have been bought and sold multiple times over to high-profile and celebrity clients for the ritualistic purposes I listed, including, but not limited to, a death sacrifice. Yes, that's right. I shouldn't even be alive to make this statement, but by the grace of God, I am here. And after years of virtual silence and spiritual solitude, I finally feel guided to speak on it. A large part of the anxiety was my dependency on divine timing and the overwhelm of not really knowing where to start or end. But there's a whole lot to share in between those points, some of which is crystallizing into my consciousness in real time. For now, I already feel a sense of relief from what's been pinned up inside. And if by chance I don't get to share anything more, let it be known that it's deeper than Diddy, it's above his pay grade, it's outside of celebrity culture, it's more sinister than sex, it's beyond your wildest imagination, and it's closer to home than you think. To be continued. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, as always, I'll leave you with peace.